remember the first time I went to Costco. It was an experience, but I really remember the first time I saw a woman in Costco with 2 carts. I was in awe. She was some sort of Costco superhero. And then that's when it hit me. That woman was me in the future. I have 4 kids, and the older they get, the more they eat, and I can only imagine that I will be the woman in Costco with 2 shopping carts at some point. Having a family of 6 to feed means that I have learned to get a lot more thrifty with my groceries, a lot more creative with my cooking, and a lot more prepared with my meals. So I thought today I would share with you some of my best tips and tricks that I use when it comes to ways to save money on my groceries, as well as not spend a ton of time in the kitchen every single day. Hi, my name's Callie, also known as That Practical Mom, and I share practical, realistic life tips. So if you're looking to simplify the chaos in life, make sure to subscribe. When it comes to spending less time cooking and less money at the grocery store, it really all comes down to one thing: a solid plan. If you thought you were going to get through this video without me mentioning meal planning, I am sorry to disappoint, but it is an important step. Without some kind of plan in place, you're basically winging it, and that makes budgeting or prepping ahead nearly impossible. So I'm going to dive into how I meal plan step by step at the end of this video. But first, some of my go-to tips for not overspending and ways to make meal planning even easier. First up, learn to master what I call stretch meals. A stretch meal is essentially when you buy a single ingredient that is going to help you stretch into multiple different meals. And this can happen a couple of different ways. But the key to stretch meals is that it ensures that, one, there's no food waste, because if you buy something, you're using it all the way up, and it saves money because you can buy a single item, use it for multiple meals, and often if you're buying something in a slightly larger quantity, you can typically pay less, like per ounce or per pound, for it. So a stretch meal can be as simple as buying one item and then using it multiple times throughout the week. So you get ground beef, and then you use it for turkey, use it for chili, use it for burgers, and then you have tacos. It could also be something that you cook one time and then use multiple times. So maybe you roast up a chicken one night and then you use that chicken for chicken quesadillas another night, and then you have chicken noodle soup the night after that. Or it can be what I call bulk up ingredients. These are ingredients that typically are quite budget friendly and help to bulk up meals to make them heartier or more filling, so that you can kind of get more bang for your buck. This includes lower cost ingredients, things like beans and lentils, which can get added to soups, chilies, stews, tacos, or burritos to stretch that meal bigger on a budget. It could be something like rice or pasta, right? You can use these, serve with stir fries, curry, meat sauces, casseroles, all to make them a little bit more filling. Frozen veggies are another good one to have around because they easily bulk up soups, rices, and stir fries. As you're choosing your meal, another thing that I like to consider doing is having a theme night for each day of the week that you are planning. And the reason that I like this is, one, it just helps simplify meal planning. It can help with decision fatigue, and it can help you stretch your grocery budget by using budget-friendly themes. So let me give you examples of what I mean. This could be something like doing a meatless Monday, because typically the proteins that are like meat-free, like lentils and beans, tend to be cheaper than buying actual meat. Another one could be Taco Tuesday. We all love a Taco Tuesday, but Taco Tuesday is another really easy stretch meal. If you add in lentils to the meat, you add in beans, you add in rice and make it burritos. One Pot Wednesday or Sheet Pan Thursday, these are really great options for using up ingredients that are in your house. You know, put a soup on that uses up some extra veggies, or use up the extra meat for a sheet pan meal. I also have always loved having what I call a go-to night. So this is one night a week where you're just picking like one of your family's go-to meals. I suggest you keep a running list of what your go-to meals are for your family. These are things that are pretty easy to cook. Almost everybody in your family likes. I don't want to say everybody, because I'm going to be honest, family of 6, we're almost never shooting like 100% average, unless it's like pizza or macaroni and cheese. And even then, you never know. One day they might not like that kind of pasta shape. But it's the ones that in general you know your family is going to enjoy, that are easy for you to cook, and that are pretty budget friendly. Keep a running list of these always. They are your go-tos. Don't try to store them up here. Find somewhere that you are keeping them, whether you have a running list on your phone, you use a pen and paper and you stick it up on your fridge, however it works for you. Having that go-to meal list is a total game changer. So helpful. And I suggest putting at least one of those in every single week, because why not make at least one day every week just a no-brainer, easy go-to meal. One of my favorite go-tos is actually a pizza bubble up. I cook it in my Our Place Dream Cooker. Now, Our Place is actually sponsoring this video, I'm going to tell you about the dream cooker in just a minute, but this is so easy. You use pre-made dough, you layer it with pizza toppings, and it is always a crowd pleaser. Some other themes might be something like freezer or pantry clean out, where you have to like go through your freezer and pantry and see what you have and try to make it into a meal, which honestly is one of my favorite nights ever. I like doing it on like a Saturday because we tend to do our big grocery on Sunday or Monday, so I like clear stuff out before we do that. And then you could always do leftover nights as well. But having a theme for each day of the week, like I said, helps with that decision fatigue. It helps just simplify picking what meals you're going to use. Okay, so now a quick break. Let me tell you about Our Place, which is, like I said, the sponsor for today's video. And I'm going to tell you about their dream cooker, which I've had for probably about 2 years now. And I love this thing for all of my cooking. It is a multi-cooker that does everything. It pressure cooks, it slow cooks, it sautés, it steams, it keeps food warm. And I have honestly cleared out so much cabinet space because this one thing now can do all of it. It is one of my go-tos on busy days because I can throw a bunch of ingredients during nap time or before I drop my kids off for school, press a button, and dinner basically cooks itself. And then it's ready right when we need it because it will always auto switch to the keep warm option when it's done cooking, which has saved me more times than I can count when something's like done at 3 and we don't get around to eating until 6 sometimes. I also really like using it for batch cooking, veggie stews, shredded chicken, mac and cheese, and then I just reheat those portions when I need it. I also love that the ceramic insert is non-toxic, PFAS free, and it wipes clean easily, so no scrubbing, no worrying about questionable coatings, and it actually looks nice on the counter, which doesn't hurt. It's not like a bulky industrial look. It looks really sleek and minimal, but at the end of the day, what I keep coming back to it for is that it is a multi-purpose tool and it is so easy to use. Like even the pressure cooker function, a lot of pressure cookers feel really intimidating. Too many buttons, really confusing settings. This one is really intuitive. I can just saute right in the pot before pressure cooking, so there's no extra pans or mess, and it is very simple and straightforward to use. The dream cooker definitely makes mealtime, especially with little kids, a lot easier. And I do have a code PracticalMom10 that will get you 10% off. You can check the description link down below for that. Okay, back to some of my tips about meal planning. My next one is to embrace the sort of imperfect meals I'd mentioned during the themes, doing like a leftovers night. Like sometimes it's great once a week to just have like the not, meat and potato inside meal. Like just let it be a snack meal where you're going into the pantry and you're like eating through leftover stuff and everybody's just having like a little platter of some fruits and some veggies and some crackers and whatever needs to get used up. Do a breakfast for dinner. I feel like sometimes we get stuck in this idea of like what dinner has to be. And if you can kind of peel that away, every once in a while, Michael and I will have like cereal or oatmeal for dinner. And we're like, good to go. Next up, I really rely on not having to cook every single night, and I do this a couple of ways. One, I embrace leftovers when I can, or if it's a stretch meal, like reusing something from the night before so that I don't have to cook it again, whether it's like I double cook rice one night so that I have it for the whole week. I love doubling recipes when I make them. I've shared this in previous videos where like if I'm gonna make chili, I'm gonna go ahead and put all the ingredients for the chili into a bag and stick it in the freezer for another night so that I'm saving myself a night down the road of not having to cook and not have to worry what's for dinner. So I'm constantly thinking about how I can cook something once and then use it multiple times, or prep something once and use it multiple times. So if I bought a big thing of kale and I have used it as a stretch ingredient because I'm going to use it for a meal on Monday and then a meal on Wednesday, I'm going to wash it and cut it and like destem it all at once on Monday, because that way on Wednesday it's like one less thing for me to do. Another really good example is like if you have to get out your food processor. It's big, it's bulky, you have to get out the blades. What else might you be able to like chop up in the food processor while you already have it out so you don't have to get it out again? So I'm always kind of just like thinking of that as I'm in the kitchen, saving myself down the road. Okay, and finally, when it comes to actually meal planning, this is the process that I go through to make meal planning work really well for me, to ensure that I'm being as thrifty as I can and I'm also being the smartest that I can for my time in the kitchen. So the first thing is you need like a way that you're actually writing your meals down. Whether you like using a computer, you want an app like Notion, or you want to use a gadget like a digital calendar, or maybe you just want to use a paper and pen, you want a basic system for writing down recipes, making meal plans, writing your grocery list, and saving recipes as well. Saving recipes is key because you don't have to do anything twice. And then I start with basically like reverse meal planning. So instead of thinking of the meals and then listing out the ingredients that I'll need for them, I start with ingredients, and I do this one of two ways. One, first I go into my pantry and fridge and I'm going to write down all of the ingredients that I already have that might need to get used up, or things that I have in my freezer. And if you want, I will have a link in the description box down below to my reverse meal planning sheets that sort of walk you through how to do this. So you're going to check your fridge, check your pantry, check your freezer, and make a list list of what needs to be used up soon, the next thing you're going to do is look at your store sale. So I will go into the grocery online, like weekly ads. I'll jot down some sale items that maybe pair with what I already have or would match with some of our go-to meals. And I just write down the things that I know are going to be on sale that will help us that week. A little note on this as well. One of the reasons that I use Stop and Shop is because where I live, it is the only place that allows me to place my order online. And I find that shopping online allows me to be much more practical, critical, and thrifty with my shopping. It allows me to really spend the time comparing prices, looking at what's on sale, adding everything to my cart, going back into my cart, removing things that maybe are excess or that I don't need. It really allows me to be smarter with my shopping, as opposed to when I go into the actual store. It's just a lot more distracting. It's easier to grab extra things you didn't need, or maybe not be as clear about what the sale is or what the price is. So I find a key for me is to do my shopping online so I can see everything all laid out when I buy it. Then, based on what I already have, plus what's on sale, now I'm going to start to pull out my meals. There might be a few that are really obvious right off the bat, and then this is where theme nights can help out. If you have like 1 or 2 nights where you're still not sure, you can lean on some of those themes to pull in for the other nights. You are going to assign each meal to one day of the week. Maybe you don't have to do this. To me, this is key. And the reason it's key to know exactly what meals I'm eating which day is because, one, it helps with prep. If I know that on Monday I'm having tacos and on Wednesday I'm having, I don't know, some sort of stir fry, it can help me prep and be prepared. If I'm cooking up rice to have as a side with the tacos, I can double cook that rice so that I can have it for the stir fry. When you can see your whole week all at once, it just makes it a lot easier to quickly prep things here and there. You're never scrambling at 4 p.m. because you don't know what it is. It can be as simple too as just saying, oh, tonight's dinner is a salad with whatever, and I have a little free time during my breakfast. I'm gonna wash and cut up the lettuce now. When you know what you're eating, it makes it so much easier to plan and prep and be ready for it when it's dinner time. It ensures that you're never scrambling, but it also just makes sure that you stick to the meals that you wrote down, because very often we can get stuck on a meal, like it's Tuesday and we wrote something down and we don't really want that. But if you have each thing assigned to each day, you've already bought the ingredients for those. If you don't cook that thing that you wrote down on Tuesday, now all of these ingredients are going to go to waste. So it kind of just forces your hand into making sure that you stick with these things and then use up the ingredients that you bought so that you're not wasting any money and you're not wasting any food. All right, I think that does it. That is sort of some of the systems and tricks that I use to stay on top of meal planning, to make sure that I'm not spending too much and that I'm not spending too much time. I'm not spending too much money and I'm not spending too much time on feeding my family every single week. At the end of the day, it really comes down to a few basic strategies: stretching foods, finding ways to make foods work for multiple meals, using some prep ahead of time. A little bit of planning on a Friday or a Saturday is going to make the rest of the week go so much easier. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.